One of the things that has disturbed me over the years of being a teacher are when students say to me, "That's not fair." So what I try to do at the beginning of the year, I hope, is teach them difference between fair and equal, because they're not the same. When a student says that's not fair, they're really saying that's not equal. And they're right. It's not equal. Now, here in the state of California, there are some things that I have to treat them in a way that I have to treat them equally. And that is, every student needs a desk, every student needs a chair. If I give one student a book, every student gets a book. If I give them papers, everybody gets a paper. And we actually had a law passed recently that makes sure that we do that, which seems that shouldn't be necessary, but I guess it was. But beyond that, there are some times I can't treat them equally. And I give them this example. Let's say we have a 60-minute class and I've got 30 students just to keep the math easy. That means I would give every student 2 minutes if I were to treat them equally. So if we're doing some math problems, I could start with the student right in front of me and stand there with them for 2 minutes and make sure they understand what they're doing. Okay, this is what you do, and here's the next step. And if they're doing fine, I can watch them, give them their full 2 minutes of time, and then move on to the next student. What that means is I can get to a student that doesn't need any problem or doesn't need any help, and I can be standing there for 2 minutes watching them while I have another student in the very back of the room who's going to be student number 29 who doesn't even know where to begin. And they have to wait for 58 minutes before I can go back there and help them to understand what their problem, how to work out their problem. So it's impossible in that case for me to treat them equally. What's fair, and what an effective teacher does, is to go around the room and look for students who need help, students who have questions, students who don't understand things, and give them what they need to understand the question. So maybe with one student, I'm going to be there for 5 minutes, really getting them to understanding of the problem. And other students, I might walk by and take a look at 4 or 5 answers and see that they're completely right. That's all they needed was 10 seconds. So was it equal? No, but was it fair? Yes. And so after I teach them that, then I let them know I'm not going to treat you all equally. It wouldn't be fair for me to do so. There's going to be some of you who once in a while are going to need a break on something, whether it's an assignment that I reduce by a few problems, because for whatever reasons, maybe you've really understood it and I want to teach you something different, or maybe I know that your parents got in a car crash last night or whatever. I need to be able to be flexible with my students and treat them in a way that's fair for them, because students will see that. If one student is turning in something and another student is turning in something else, they'll recognize that and they'll say, "Hey, that's not fair," and I'll say, "Well, it's not equal, but it is fair." And I've just found that if I start the year with that, it really helps them to understand more of the way they're going to be treated by me, which I hope is a way that's respectful and as fair as possible based on their needs. So remember that. Fair is not equal.